Hello, Team One, and welcome to today's call. We have a very special guest with us today. It is the Mrs. Rhonda Layton. So, Rhonda is a 2015 five-star Diamond Elite coach. She prides herself on being a pillar of consistency. She's also a Success Club 10 All-Star and a Success Club legend, co-founder of Team Dynamo, and a lover of all things Shanti. I love that girl. She is married and mother of two boys. And in 2011, she left her full-time career in marketing to pursue her passion to help others with fitness. She's also known as Motivation Rhonda. She loves to speak life into others to be a catalyst to positive life changes. So we are so honored and excited to have you today, Rhonda. I'll let you take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. You know, it's really funny. I'm having a little bit of a full circle moment because I used to actually, and Heather knows this, but I used to go to Heather Dixon's fitness classes probably like 11, 12 years ago. And I was kind of like the Heather Dixon groupie. I would follow her and I would go to all the classes. I would follow her on schedule. In fact, if I saw Heather, I would go to whatever 24-hour fitness and it would be like a different Heather or something. And so I guess a couple weeks ago when we went to leadership, I ended up, and I've known Heather for a while, but I ended up sitting next to her on the airplane and we just thought that we could really swap calls because I think that we have different styles of leadership. And sometimes that's good to hear a different perspective. So she asked me to be on our call and I'm super, super excited for her to be on my call too. So thank you, Stephanie, for that awesome intro. So what I really want to share with you guys today is this past weekend, I'm sure you guys went to Super Saturday. And I had the opportunity, I live in Dallas, but I had the opportunity to go to Super Saturday in Minneapolis. My brother lives in Minneapolis. And I just wanted to kind of get different perspectives of Super Saturday. Dallas is really big. And so I called him up and I said, would you mind if I came up and went to your Super Saturday? And he's like, that's awesome. And so I booked my ticket. And then he said, okay, we want you to speak. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't really want to speak, but I thought it was an awesome opportunity. And so I did. And so I thought, what can I possibly share with this group to add value for them to take home? And so I did some thinking on it, and I thought I would share with you the same thing I shared with them, and that's what I call my 4 intangibles of success. So a couple months ago, I was having lunch with one of my diamond coaches, and I said, I don't really know the power in my story. I don't know if my story is really powerful. You guys might feel that way sometimes. Like some people have like really big stories, and my story is kind of like, and she's like, you don't know what it is. I said, I really don't. She's like, Rhonda, you empower people. You have the strength to really empower and speak life into people. And I thought that's right. So that's really what I want to do today. I want you to leave here feeling empowered. And so it kind of leads me to the background of how I got started into Beachbody. It started actually way back in 2009. And I'm going to tell you my story, and then I'm going to go into my intangibles of success and how that relates to this. So in 2009, I was getting ready to run a marathon, and I was going to Washington, D.C., and my husband couldn't come. And so I asked if my brother could come support me. We were both, kind of on the same page with fitness. So he came out, and the day before the marathon, he was doing this crazy exercise in his hotel room. And I'm like, what in the heck are you doing? He's like jumping around. He's like, oh, this is P90X. And this is coming from my brother who never exercised, never did anything really. And I'm like, and he's like, you should try this. I'm like, no interest, whatever. I'm a runner. I go to the gym. I go to Heather Dixon's classes. And so ran the marathon, came home, and he had started to change. He said, Rhonda, you should really try this program called P90X. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. It's silly. It's a little DVD program. And what happens after 90 days? You probably just gain all your weight back. Yet I saw him start to really have these massive changes. And so he came to me again after a couple months, and he was still having like massive results. And he said, you should try this program for crazy people. It's called Insanity. And I'm like, so my ears perked up a little bit. And then he showed me a picture of Shanti, and I was like, I'm in. I am totally down for this. I was like, and from that moment, I became a Shanti girl. And I went for 60 days all in. I quit my gym membership. I quit my yoga membership. I continued to run, but I'd never, ever had results like that in 60 days. And so I was convinced that was my opportunity into coaching. So that's really where I started. So fitness-wise, it was awesome. But it was also at this time that I was in a job that I hated. I was absolutely miserable. I'd come home and I was just sad because the thought of going to work just made my stomach nauseous. So that's really my point number one. My first intangible of success is you have to have a vision for this business. So I knew from very, very early on, I wanted to make this my full-time thing. And so the one thing that I concentrated on more than anything is, at the time, I wasn't even able to take my son, who was in first grade at the time, to school because I was in the car driving to a job I hated. It made my stomach nauseous and I was miserable. And I'm thinking, why am I doing this when there's something else that I'm good at, I love, and I can make a full-time career of this? And so I focused on that. And I shut off the TV. I focused so much. I was still running. I would, plug in National Wake Up Calls and Tony Robbins and whatever when I would go for runs, and I focus. When I was at work, and I'm not condoning this, but I would go in the hallway at work, stairwell, and I'd get on calls with people. I did whatever it took because I knew my time was temporary. I knew I was going to make it work. And after 9 months, I took a leap of faith and I left that job and I actually went to work part-time for 2 more years at a local running store, which was a huge, drastic change for me. And so the way that I got there is I continued just to focus on that vision, just walking my son to school in the morning. And it doesn't matter what your vision is. Like for me, that simple little thing was so profound. But if I would have cared what other people would have thought, I probably wouldn't have held on to that vision. I probably wouldn't have had the guts, if you will, to quit my job. And so maybe you don't want to quit your job. Maybe you love your job, and that's awesome. Whatever it is, just hold on to a strong vision of what you want for this business. Write it down, set your goals, and go for it. And that leads me to number 2, which is you have to run your own race. So, I'd run several marathons, and, every time I went to run a marathon, I never thought I could probably win this. Like, we don't go into a marathon thinking that we're actually going to win unless you're like super elite athlete. But my thing was, I'm going to run this marathon as best I can against the clock and to hit my goals, not anyone else's goals. So that first year in the business, I had just, quit my job. I had hit diamond. I earned a trip to the Bahamas for my family, which was the most amazing trip ever. And right before that trip, I'd hit 1 star. Things were really, really awesome. And then something started to happen. I started to watch other people who started at the same time as me pass me. And I started to focus on what they were doing. And I started to focus on, this guy making more money than me. And I started to see my success partner go, advance and rank beyond me. And I was watching everybody. And I stopped focusing on what I needed to do to be successful. And I became so preoccupied with what other people were doing that I lost sight of my own business. And I went from a 1-star diamond to a diamond coach. It's like, because I wasn't running my own race. I was struggling and I didn't know what to do. So I decided to hire a life coach. And after working with her for a few months, she said, Rhonda, I think you should quit your part-time job. And I'm like, because I wasn't at the number I thought I needed to be. She's like, I want you to go to your husband and I want you to tell him you're going to quit your part-time job and you just need his blessing. I'm like, okay. So I went to my husband and I said, I'm thinking about quitting my job and I don't really need your blessing, but let me just hear what you have to say. And so he looked at me and he said, Rhonda, I don't care what you do. Just make it work. And it was in that moment that everything changed, because I decided nobody is running this race for me. Nobody cares if I fail. Nobody cares if I succeed. Nobody cares what rank I am. Nobody cares about anything. All of my success is dependent all upon me. And from that point, everything shifted. I stopped worrying about rank. I stopped worrying about income. I stopped worrying about elite and all that stuff. And I just focused on going. And I quit my job and I focused and I just did the work. And I went from a diamond coach in January of 2014 to a 5-star diamond coach in October, well on my way to elite, all because I started focusing on what I needed to do, not anybody else. So that brings me to point number 3. consistency. So it was awesome. You know, I have all these great titles now, 5-star elite, whatever. It's great. But really the thing that makes me most proud is that for over 60 plus months, I have hit Success Club. That means for every month in that I've been in this business for over 5 years, I have helped at least 3 people. Every single morning, I get up, I read affirmations, I write in my journal, I write goals, and I write what I'm thankful for. Every single day, I do my workout. Every single day. Every single day, I talk to new people, even when I don't feel like it. And sometimes, trust me, I do not feel like it. And we all feel like that, especially right now. This is a season that's difficult. Every single day, I drink Shakeology. Every single day. And every single day, without a doubt, no matter what, I work on myself. Because in order to grow in this business, you have to work on yourself. Your success is contingent about how, you know, the growth that you have. There's this ceiling. And once you hit that ceiling, you have to work on yourself to progress above it. So when Jeff Hill called me last year to say, hey, Rhonda, you hit elite, you know, tell me about your success. What works for you? And I said, you know, I don't really do anything extraordinary. I just do the ordinary with extraordinary consistency. And that's it. I just show up every single day. I know you guys have heard this a million times, that there is no secret sauce. There's really not. It's just showing up and doing those things every single day. Every single day, I write what I'm grateful for, which leads me to my 4th intangible of success, and that is gratitude. So at the same time that I was struggling, I thought that I really needed to reach out to a mentor in the business, not just a life coach, but somebody that had done the business, who had struggled, who understood what it took to be successful. And so I reached out to Monica Ward. You guys may or may not know her. She's a founding coach, which she doesn't want to be known for that. She wants to be known for her success beyond that. But I reached out to her, and I'd only talked to her maybe once. She really didn't know me. She had no business in helping me, but for whatever reason, she accepted, and she decided to work with me. And the very first phone call I had with her, she told me that I will never have more success in this business until I'm grateful for what I have right now. And I will never make more money in this business until I'm okay with what I have right now, until I'm good with what I have right now. So instead of being upset that I wasn't at this income level, I had to be okay and do the things now with the income that I was at. And everything shifted. And so because of that mentorship has developed into this huge thing that I'm super passionate about now, and that's gratitude. Everything starts with gratitude. And I just want to share a little story with you, what I know I'm grateful. So a couple months ago, I decided to go through this whole rebranding thing. That's what the whole Motivation Rhonda thing. My office, completely redid it, changed all the furniture, painted everything. And I was at the store and I was buying some paint. And the lady said, if you donate to the Children's Hospital Network, you'll get this big blue bucket to take home. And I'm thinking, what the heck am I going to do with this big blue bucket? But great cause, right? So I did. And I came home and my son's like, Mommy, what are you going to do with that big blue bucket? And I'm thinking, I have no idea, but just go set it over there. And so that day, and for the whole weekend, I was painting. It was July. If you guys live in Texas, it's super hot, like hot. And I turned our AC way, way, way down. And I finished painting, and we're eating dinner. And my son looked up on our ceiling upstairs, and he goes, Mommy, why is there water coming from the ceiling? And I'm like, oh my God. And my husband panicked, and he ran upstairs, and he trying to seal up the leak, and the ceiling started leaking, and pretty soon this little drip became a gush, and the ceiling started to split, and this water came gushing out. And I said, Jackson, go get me that big blue bucket. And we grabbed the bucket, and the water was coming down and it's gushing. My son's panicked, my husband is stressed, and I looked down and I saw Children's Hospital Network. And it was in that moment I shifted to gratitude, because I thought, wow, like, it's just a leaky ceiling. Like, I can pay for a leaky ceiling. There's parents out there who would do anything for a leaky ceiling, you know? And it just reminded me and shifted me immediately. And so the next day, the repairman came out and he said, I'm going to have to replace your whole entire AC unit. It's going to cost this much money. And I could see my husband was panicked, and I looked at him and I said, I totally got this. I made this work. Because of Beachbody and because of being grateful and working with what I had in order to become more, I was able to pay for that in full. And I could just sense a sense of relief over my husband. It all starts with gratitude. And I'm so grateful for this business. And I'm so grateful for the struggles that I had in order to understand where I needed to be. So today I just wanted to give you those 4 intangibles. Just remember to have a strong, strong vision. Don't worry about what anybody else's opinion is of your vision. It's your vision. You have to own it and go with it. Run your own race. No matter what marathon you're running, it's your race. I know it's so easy to get caught up in comparison and watch other people have success, but you don't know the story. You don't know the backstory. You don't know how much work they put in. You don't know when they started. Your story is your story. So own it and go with it. The next thing is you have to stay consistent. You have to show up every single day. And I mean, there's a reason we have the 3 vital behaviors. We have to do that every single day in order to be successful. Just be consistent. You don't have to do extraordinary things. Just do the ordinary extraordinarily well. And the last thing is just be grateful. Be grateful for where you are, even if it's in a time when maybe you're struggling right now. So be grateful for that, because it's telling you need to learn something, maybe about yourself or how to become a better leader or how to become a better coach or spouse or mom or whatever it is. Be grateful for all those things, because I promise you the times of struggle are the most defining moments in your life, and the times that you will learn the most and you will grow the most and will become successful because of it. So that, I don't even know how long it took. That was really super fast. That was
Wow. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I mean, all I can say is, wow, wow. You can see or hear, see the passion in your face and hear the conviction in your message. And it is just, it's awesome. And I just want to say, guys, I hope that you took notes and you take this back to your teams, because it's an amazing message and some great knowledge here. And one thing that I double starred was, you will never make more in this business unless you are grateful for what you have right now. And that is very, very true. I just want to open it up really quickly, maybe about 5 minutes. Do any of you ladies have any questions? We're still recording. This will be a great time to ask a question so that everyone who couldn't jump on can listen later.
You know, the one thing I would add is that one thing I encourage my coaches to do is to really, really share their personal development with other people, to make it part of your social media, because whatever you're struggling with, somebody else is struggling with, or 10 more people are. 2 days ago, I shared one of the most real, raw videos on my like page, and I was so afraid to put it out there, but I knew that somebody would connect with it, and it was like crazy the amount of connection I got from that. So don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And I know that's kind of like a key word, buzzword lately, but it really is true, and it's really, really important about to be a successful coach. And the one thing I didn't add when I left them on Saturday is I actually challenged them to post something about what they're grateful for, and just do like #grateful, because I think, especially since we're coming into a season where it's really focused on gratitude, that, just to get people into that shift to being grateful for what we have now, but not being upset about what, we don't have. So the mindset shift.
Exactly. That's awesome. Okay, if there are no questions, we're going to let Rhonda go. Thank you so much again for being on the call today.
You're welcome.